Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll.
I know plastic bags covering everything looks terrible, but it does help save some of my garden art and or garden decor. And it's that time of year where we're going to have to cover things and put the garden away for the winter. But I thought I just wanted to show you one more time while we can the glorious beauty of the chrysanthemums. The winds have already not been kind to the little flowers in the garden, but today they are shining. We were possibly going to have a frost this morning, but we had lots of wind, and it didn't get down quite cold enough. You can see these are blown over by the wind right here, but so pretty and so grateful we have it one more day. So I'm going to get pictures of it while I can, and it's just so nice to have all this beauty to look at on this beautiful fall morning. It seems like such a fleeting little space of time that we get to enjoy these, but I'm so grateful that we do, and I'm grateful for cameras where we can take a picture and get a little video clip to go back and look through this. We'll be looking through this winter if we want to, and we'll see it. And sometimes I have one niece, Cherie, that said I like looking at your pictures in your garden on Garden Scroll, but it's just not like being there in your garden. That's just so much better. And I just can't believe she said that, because most usually I can enjoy it a lot better on the DVDs, because out here, you know, the elements of nature and the heat and cold and whatever else have you, drought, just everything is insects. Everything is just there to try to make it to just spoil everything. But luckily, that even though with all the things that are not so fun, it still doesn't really spoil the beauty of the things that are wonderful and that we are grateful for. So again, I feel like I need to apologize for having plastic bags everywhere, but that's just the way it is. That's just part of having a garden and trying to save it from one year to the next. One morning soon I'll come out here and all these coleus, and well, practically all of the flowers out here will be, even when the frost comes, it'll even nip the perennials. So we've got to just enjoy it while we can, because it won't be, it sounds like a child, they're not little long. And you think, but they're still mine, I'll always love them. And I always have the memories of when they were growing up, and that is true, and we are grateful for that. But it is different. It's really different when you wish, sometimes I wish I could just go back and roll around on the carpet on the floor and play with my baby girl. There are still pretty zinnia blooms in the seed box. But they are beginning to be nipped by our cold nights, and even the days are getting cooler now. Always wish that fall could be longer. Like, there's me some great seed. I'll have to get out here and get all of these, you know. But also remember that I put these little bells of Ireland out here, and I thought, well, they'll fill it out, but they won't make a bloom and go to seed. But I was wrong. There's lots of bloom here, and they will go to seed and probably fill this back out for next spring. They'll probably come up volunteer from these little ones that I've got planted right in here. If I can contain where they grow up, I love volunteer plants that just come up on their own in the spring. And sometimes even when you can't and they come up somewhere you don't want them, it's pretty easy to transfer those to another spot in the garden. So it's a pretty fall day, and so far we have not actually had a frost that took the annuals out even, so that's a wonderful thing. And I think in a week or so it's supposed to be some even nicer weather, so that'll be great too. So am I sorry that I covered everything with plastic? No, I'm not, because even though it would be much prettier without the plastic here and there and everywhere, I do have things covered. They are covered and they are protected from the elements somewhat, and that's kind of like the best I can do. And today my plan is to make Divinity. I'm getting ready for my sister's annual Thanksgiving reunion dinner, and I'm going to make as many things as I can, all the standard things that I try to make each year, and I will be very busy. And this way I won't be so concerned about what's going on in the garden. So come what may with the weather, hopefully it'll be protected and I'll be fine with being away from it and getting something else done. So I've had a wonderful thing happen just recently. You know, I figured whenever I started this that I might get lots of older people that didn't get to get out in their gardens anymore. Believe you me, I know what that's like, because even though I can, it's getting harder each year, and I know that it's very hard and it is impossible for some people to get out in their gardens. So that was what I thought would be my main viewers, but I've actually come to find out that I have young viewers. I had my sister's children / grandchildren. I had them to her. My sister called me and said, "Oh," they said, "come and look at this, Mom. You're on TV. Aunt Nancy is talking about you on TV." And so I want to make this a shout out to William and Tobias. I just love you both so much, and it's such a beautiful, wonderful feeling to know that you watch my little YouTube channel, and I just appreciate it so much. It just makes me so happy, and that made a connection between us even more, and I thank God for that. I thank God for you guys. Also, I had my Christmas tree up, And that's the way I love it. So when I start making Christmas candies for our Thanksgiving reunion dinner, I have my tree up. I'm planning on putting on some Christmas songs and just making Christmas candies and hopefully getting to enjoy that for a little bit, although my husband's not much into all that Christmassy stuff. And I know a lot of people aren't, and they don't like that. They feel that we're trying to take the place of Thanksgiving by putting Christmas trees up before Thanksgiving. But in my case, and probably in most others that love Christmas so much they can't get enough of it, in our cases, on our behalf, it's not really that we want to get rid of Thanksgiving or even Halloween. It's just that we want to include Christ and Christmas in all the holidays. Look at this little red canna hanging on. It's beautiful. And I do love Christmas. I think of my dad's Christmas spirit back when we had very little for Christmas. Even the food, we didn't have the traditional Christmas dinners or anything like that. But he had such a wonderful spirit, that excitement, that hope, that sense of magic. And I can still feel it every Christmas that my dad gave me that. His blue-gray eyes were sad a lot of the times. Most of the times they were just determined to make a way when there wasn't much of a way, but he would make a way for so many things to happen. And he would be so excited about any tiny little gift that he had hidden away for his children. And at Christmas time, his eyes would sparkle. I remember that sparkle. It's the greatest sparkle of all the beautiful Christmas decorations that we get to enjoy now. There's never a sparkle that shines any brighter than that in my daddy's eyes at Christmas time. I still want to play in the garden. I want to look around and take pictures and share them with you. I just love being in nature and seeing all the things that God does. But I've got to get busy. That's the story of my life. Look at this beauty. I just love this licorice plant, and I didn't get it for years because I thought, well, it's the color of a Dusty Miller, which I use each year, so I really don't need this, and I have other things that trail, but oh my, this was such a wonderful plant. I'll want it every year from now on. It started out a tiny little thing. It's filled this whole pot up, and you know, this color, just like a Dusty Miller, makes everything around it look more beautiful. It softens things, and people even use the Dusty Miller and this color in wedding bouquets. Look at this little beauty turning its pretty fall colors. I'll try to get out here and get you another picture of this a little later on, when even more of it will be this pretty orange color. And I'll definitely want to come and get these. They're going, you can tell they are. They have some spots on them from the just from being out in the cold and wet and just out in the elements. But I'll want to take all these in and try to get them back in the garden next year. This little pot never did get to really shine. Our summer, even though it was a better summer than we normally have, as far as a couple of cool periods in August and in July, and we had some good rains, but the heat in between, and somehow just the heat and the wet caused fungus and just different things. But it actually turned out to be a hard year for the garden, and none of it got to really shine like it could. But this little alyssum is looking pretty good, and it could of course look better than this, but that's what I had in mind, for it to just billow out and fill up with beautiful little white blooms. And I love this flowing Dichandra or Dichondra. It's just so pretty. I love it. It's kind of hard to see up against that white, but it just flows all the way to the ground. When it started in the spring, you wonder, would it ever make it to the ground by fall? But somehow it does. This is another spot where I put the alyssum, and it's not doing as well as I thought it would do, but it did billow out and flow down, and it put on a few of the pretty little white blossoms. But that's just the way it is in the spring. You have all these dreams of how gorgeous it's going to be, and sometimes they just don't turn out as gorgeous as you thought they would. But on the other hand, some things that you think are not going to be all that pretty can turn out to be some of your very favorite little garden spots. And look at this. Not to say that we've got it all done, but remember all those beautiful iris? They're all clipped back now and ready to come back out in the spring. And I even trimmed the peonies off of this side, or cut them down. So this is great that this part of it is ready now for the spring, or it will be when spring comes. All I'll have to do is to go ahead and trim out the old dead daylilies, and they'll be easy to do once they go ahead and dry up. I'll just have to take my hand and pull them up. They won't be that hard, other than it'll be hard on an old gardener to get up and down that many times. But with the helping grace of God, I plan on doing that. And you can tell that I did get my pots out here too. I only put 3 out here, but I think that will, and they're all going to be full of fall blooming things. So this should be pretty in the fall now, as well as in the spring and summer. One, you know, I put a sedum, I've told you before, and this one looks like it's going to make it. I actually tried several different things there, but if this will last through the winter, it'll be ready to go in spring. And this one has Russian sage in it, and I did try to put some starts in there too that I don't think they made. I think it was just too late, but I'm not sure. Look at this. As I'm saying it to you, I'm seeing that there's some little buds on there, so we'll see. This one may just be filled out and ready to go in the spring too. And last but not least colorful is the mums, and this is the one I started from just cutting the tops off of some of mine, and they made their own little root, as you know if you've been watching this season. And then I just decided I'm going to go ahead and put 2 colors in there. So I put this little purple daisy mum in with this pretty apricot, and I think that's going to look great. Look at these little impatiens. They're still going strong. Who would have thought? Impatiens are strong little plants, and they do well in our Oklahoma heat. As long as they get shade and water, they just keep on going. I love all these different colors of or shades of some of the same family of colors right here. And then next year I'm hoping and I'm believing that this pretty purple I'll clip it off, and hopefully it'll be farther on, closer down to the bottom part of this little pot. And then we'll have all these colors right together and the purple to just set it off. I love to do that kind of garden dreaming where you imagine how beautiful it could be if you would do this and this and this, but I don't have time to do a lot of that. Every year it seems like, well, when it comes early, it's just a fact that you don't have enough time to do a lot when winter comes early and fall is short, because that's the only time I really have for just sitting back and looking at how it all is and how I would like to change and see what things I would like to change. So anyway, lately I've had to kind of do it on the fly as I'm just working in the garden, but this kind of worked out. I actually did look for a purple mime that was already shorter and would already fit down here in the bottom part of this where it would be closer to these other colors, but I didn't find one, and I didn't want to go really searching for it because I didn't have time to. And I thought, well, why don't I take my little purple plant and put it over there? So that's what I did. I just took a piece of one of the other mimes that I already have, and I put it in that area, and I think it's going to do well. I think I'm going to really like it. And the same goes for the pots that I put in the back or along the fence where the iris and the peonies and daylilies are. I put those pots there and fill them with little divisions or starts from plants that I already had in the garden. And as I'm looking right here, I'm seeing that I need to come out here and get this little zinnia and these little zinnias. They've already lost their color, so evidently they did get too cold, but I think these were yellow. I think both of these were yellow, so I'm going to definitely want to save those even if I don't know what color they are. I know I always love a zinnia, but sometimes it's nice to know what color you have if you want to put a certain pot together with just the colors that you want, particular colors in. But you know, sometimes it's just fun to have a surprise. It's this color come up in the garden too. This is one of the fall blooming iris that my friend Renata gave me. Isn't it gorgeous? I get lots of compliments on it. I've heard some people say, I don't know if I like the idea of iris in the fall because you think of them only in the spring, but then when they bloom in the fall, I've had lots of guests to the garden to say how gorgeous they were and how unusually wonderful it was to see them in the garden in the fall. So you can tell I did not get all my peonies, neither did I get all my iris clipped down, but I did get them in that one area, which is the biggest area where I have them. So that will help me a lot, and I'm going to wait now, I think, until after some of the other things that I need to do and want to do to be with my family for the holidays, to cook for the holidays, maybe to go to my grandson's ceremony from boot camp in the Army. So we may get to do that. I'm not sure about that yet if I get to it. If I don't, my husband is definitely planning on going. So that will be great. We want to be there to support him. We love our grandkids. We love all the wonderful kids that God has given us, including those two wonderful ones that wanted a shout out on my channel. And that was William and Ty. And I'm so glad that they love me enough that it feels like an exciting thing to be mentioned on my YouTube channel. Thank you guys. I love you. Oh, look at this. So much of it's still alive and doing well, even after the colder nights that we've had. I know they won't keep lasting, but I was hoping to get to enjoy these a little bit longer, so they sure are beautiful today. Okay, that's got to be it because I've got to get busy. Pretty soon, Ty and William will be having a great big wonderful dinner with people we love, and I'll get to really hug and kiss on you guys. I know. I don't know if y'all love that as much as I do, but I just can't help it. You're just so handsome, and so much love comes through those kisses that I can't miss out on that. And you know, you always grow up too soon. You don't see it when it's happening, but when you look back, you think, where did the years go? Just pretty soon you'll be grown, having your own gardens.
Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.